Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Where's My Ritalin podcast. Cast. No, with no reverb and echo there, yeah. We have with me the delightful, the wonderful, the exciting, the amazing, the eccentric, the excitable. Did I say it already? Anyway, Shay, how you doing, man? You all right?
Hi.
How you doing? How's your day going? How are you staying warm from the snow? Are you a snow person?
Yeah, I love the snow.
Oh, God, I thought you would. What was it? What are people? Oh my gosh, it's snowing outside. Let's go outside and frolic and play freely. Ooh. Why are people like? I mean, why do you love the snow, Shay? Tell me.
Why not? I just love it. It's not something that happens very often. It's pretty when it falls. Yeah, no, I enjoy snow days. I enjoy watching it fall and the pictures that can be taken and stuff. I just like it. It reminds me of childhood, of times gone by, when as a kid it used to snow a lot more.
All right, is that right, Charles Dickens? Oh, it reminds me of childhood and times gone by, times gone past. So what's the worst of times? What's the best of times? Anyway, I don't really care about snow. It's bollocks. It's crap. It's cold, and it's increasing my central heating.
You are such a negative Nancy.
What's good about snow? Snip before you bust it and crack it
Yeah,
open.
but you no, I hear you, but you don't like. You can not like it and not hate. You don't have to love it, but you clearly hating on it.
Yeah, because it makes things difficult, and everyone runs outside like it's meant to be romantic and lovely, and it's just nonsense. And this country isn't set up for it. It's cold. I don't like cold. We're black people. Black people aren't meant to like cold. Only snow I want to see is cocaine at my parties. Anyway, so we move on. So basically, yeah, because I don't really want to talk about stuff any longer than I have to. That's like 30 seconds. I'm never gonna get back. What I was gonna say is, Shay recently, as you know, if anyone knows Shay has recently been obsessed, literally living in Clubhouse. And but to be fair, there are some benefits and merits to it. There's a good little room we had the other day, which is quite cool. But I plugged you enough. I don't really care about stuff anymore at the moment in time. But honestly, there was the COID room, which was quite good. But she came across an article. I'm gonna kind of let you kind of take over and just let me go and share it with the people. Then go on, talk to me.
So you guys are gonna have to bear with me today because I can't really. I didn't hear any of what you just said, but I assumed it was about Clubhouse. So yeah, I've been on Clubhouse and it's been fun. For those who don't know what Clubhouse is, if you are watching this video, then the description is on the screen. If you're not watching the video, then and you're listening to the podcast, then Clubhouse is an audio-only social media app, allowing casual drop-ins between people from all over the world. Is that an accurate description?
So casual drop-ins with people around the globe. Here you go.
Yeah, and so. It's another social media app. We have a load of social media app. In the last year during the pandemic, you saw an increase in usage from things like Instagram, newer apps like House Party, which I hated, by the way. Yeah, and there were just a bunch of apps. There have always been a bunch of apps that are trying to make it to Facebook status or that kind of thing, but not that many have. This app is still in beta, so it's not even widely released yet. It's invite only. They have been working on the iPhone version, the Apple version, and they currently are working on the Android version so that they can open it up to the world. And the most amazing news about this thing is that most recently, in the last week or so, it's been revealed that before this thing has even launched fully, it's now been valued. I was looking for the word at $1 billion, which is amazing. Now, what's interesting? I don't know.
Okay.
Finance people. But the interesting thing about this isn't the app has been, valued. It isn't the fact that it's a new app. It is because we jump on and off things all the time, right? The news around this news, so there's news around this news, is that a lot of people are crediting the success of the app to Black people. Okay. And that is very interesting this week.
Wasn't it quite about that
person? Was that a genuine question?
Yeah,
oh my God, this is brilliant. No, it's this feeds. Sorry, I'm gonna cough. Hold on.
Coronavirus.
This feeds absolutely into the things that I'm going to discuss with you today in my little 5-minute takeover.
Okay.
The fact that you even said that is
Okay.
is crazy, because no, it wasn't created by a black person.
Okay.
No, and this is what's been said. So first of all, I'm going to play you a clip. Master P's been talking about it. I'm going to play you a clip, and we're going to listen to what he has to say, and then I'm going to talk about some other tweets, articles, things that have been shared around this theme, and then we can have a quick discussion, because I don't know where I sit on it yet, but all the evidence out there, I can't deny it right now. So
it's all about just being able to chat with our people. I know that we going on Clubhouse. I keep telling people, we go on Clubhouse, we make another one of them a billionaire. We just did it just with Clubhouse. We need to create stuff like that to where we control the narrative and we able to put money back in our community and our culture. But if one of us did that, we will be saying, nah, I don't think that's gonna work. Why would you call it Clubhouse? It's not a club. We come up with all different type of excuses, right? Nobody cared. Everybody went on Clubhouse, blew this up. This guy went to the bank, got whatever he want. He's gonna take that company public. We're not thinking like that. The only way we're gonna be successful, we're gonna have to start taking companies public. That's the way you build wealth. And we creating so much wealth for them.
So basically, Master P had, he did a Facebook Live, Instagram Live even, and he was talking about the fact that we don't do this for ourselves. We don't create apps for ourselves in this way and people jump on it and support. This app was created by white people, and whenever we're like jumping on something, we're putting money in the white man's pocket. I then went on Twitter and I found some tweets relating to this, right? So they're on the screen. Looking at my mentions, it's wild how many folks assumed Clubhouse was black owned based off their choice to use black people as the app icon. Now, this is really interesting to me because I knew it wasn't, and that's only after I went on the app and I started following people and I saw that the co-founders were not, in fact, black. But I also follow the guy who is the app icon. And in my little research, how I go looking into all of this stuff, what I found is the app icon didn't used to be a black person. It used to be a white girl. The minute it became a black person, it blew up. And so it's really interesting because this evidence is, it's not empirical, but this evidence looks like this is absolutely the case. Also, they stay giving me Clubhouse invites because I keep inviting talented black people in. If you go on the app, there are a lot of talented black people in there. And I used to think it was because of the rooms, the hallway I curated by the people I follow. So for those of you who don't know, the way you follow people kind of it indicates what you see on the app, which is really difficult to explain if you've not been in there. And then one more, which is a two-parter. Listening to an interesting room on Clubhouse on black influence and white wealth and how the former leads to the latter. Clubhouse has thrived because black people popularized it and is now valued at $1 billion. And this is everything we were talking about. So this is what Master P popped up to talk about. And then finally, there was a black... where is it? A founder's letter, which was a Black Ballad article, which basically speaks about, and I know I'm sharing a lot, but we'll discuss it in a minute. Which basically speaks about the fact that the truth of the matter is that Clubhouse would never have been given an estimated value of 1 billion or even been able to raise the initial 10 million if its founders were black. Why? Because black founders and black people are never given the opportunity to fail. When we are given opportunities, we are not allowed to put a foot wrong because of the latter. We are rarely afforded the opportunities in the first place, which is why it's so much harder for a black person to build an app like Clubhouse. So I showed you all of that evidence because fundamentally, I want to ask you that question. Do you think that is true? Do you think it is so much harder for a black person to build an app like Clubhouse and for it to succeed? There was an app apparently that was a little bit like Clubhouse called The Cookout. We didn't support it. We didn't support our own. So what are your thoughts?
I mean, is it? But then I don't really from that article. I don't think it's just about supporting their own. It's about getting opportunities in the first place, right? So it says,
Say again.
it said literally, it said, oh, would we be even be given the opportunity, but or black developers or black businesses or whatever like that, or even like an app like Clubhouse, would a black founder be given the opportunity to fail or succeed in the first place? That's what the last kind of clip said, and the thing to bring it up again, one of the things she said. So I think there's two aspects to that about yeah, as I said, when you're given opportunities, you're not even allowed to put a foot wrong in the first place. So I guess twofold. I guess the answer is that, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of obvious that black people are often given a chance and opportunity to thrive across in many business opportunities. That's kind of like the whole essence of the kind of like the white privilege argument, isn't it? About being given, afforded, and the same opportunities as everyone else, just to shine and thrive in the same way. The whole having to work 10 times harder to be just as good, or even to be on an equal level playing field. That's kind of like pervasive, and we kind of discussed that. I don't even think that's even a debate, really. I don't think. I mean, it's not. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you'd agree or not. I'm happy to have that discussion, but I don't really think it is. It's kind of known. I guess the next thing is, would we support it in the same way? Possibly not. Initially, yes, because I guess it's free. So, so at the moment, it's free, isn't it? So it's in its beta testing, and they've got to pay for it. But I guess that's a deeper question. I mean, do we support black businesses as well as we should? Arguably not. I guess I know your phrase is the empirical anecdotal element, but I guess when we have that, is there an element of well, I know somebody knows somebody, so I should get a bring in. Potentially,
This is what Master P said, isn't it? He's talking about the fact that actually, if we built it, we're more critical of it. We're like, why would you call it Clubhouse? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? There is an unspoken negativity or an unspoken kind of critical eye that comes with black people creating for black people. Do you see any truth in that?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we are very opinionated. I think the whole thing about there being like a black Twitter, for example, is something that is obviously quite like, because of how we ridicule and poke fun and make fun of things. But yeah, there is that. I think we probably would have given it a different gaze. But then the flip side of that is people joined it because they thought it was black anyway. So then I kind of get it, generally speaking, in terms of like in a wider scheme of things, of how we are probably a bit more self-deprecating, a bit more critical. Probably think, oh, I should get a bring-in, the whole kind of I should get a bring-in mentality because it's one of ours. But people assumed it was black anyway. So in a way, is that applicable specifically to this thing? Because I think people joined it because I thought it was black, and I thought, okay, do you know what? Maybe because of the imaging, and I didn't really deep, and I'm not really like as much into it as everyone else is. But I thought, okay, cool. And obviously all the people that are talking about it at the moment, all the influencers, all the social media personalities that are predominantly using are black as well, etc. So I kind of thought it was that. So I personally, I jumped in on it because it was, to be honest. All right, cool, why not? I'll support the thing. Especially off the back of the whole, everyone I think is probably a bit more aware of supporting stuff like that. However, I'm a bit 50-50 on that, because generally Master P does have a point in terms of we don't support things enough. Do we make things? Do we make the right business moves? Take things publicly to make money? Obviously, you can't keep it in the community to make it spend it wider. But also, I do believe that, do we get the opportunities to do that? It's a difficult one. What's your take?
No, exactly that. There are lots of moving parts to this, that we don't often get the opportunities. When we do, it's hard to get the support or the collateral. We don't get the opportunity to fail as much. And the fact that the fact that so many people did assume that it was a black app and jumped on it is actually it can be seen as a really positive thing towards the end of 2020, going into 2021, because it's a brand new app. It only launched in April, so it's not even a year old. So I think that's a really positive thing. There are lots of interesting conversations happening on there, regardless of color, regardless of creed or race or whatever. But the types of conversations you see happening are a little bit like what you will see on Twitter, which is that you will have everybody in every conversation, but then you will have almost like Black Twitter, where you've got, let me rock up on the community and it's Black people or Black Americans or Black British young people, or there are definitely little communities being set up, which is really cool because anyone can jump in, listen, dive in, figure out what people are talking about and stuff. I think it's really cool, fundamentally.
But what I was gonna say to you is this though, and I think is what is an important thing is this, and I kind of like undertells that is that I don't know if necessarily it's a good thing per se, because what I will also say is that it's evident that the power of black culture in terms of how it sets trends, how it obviously, and a lot of people tap into it and monetize it, and a lot of people that monetize black culture and almost exploit it and aren't part of black culture. A lot of people benefit it. So in terms of fashion, copying, designs, in terms of listen, I'm gonna call it straight. We determine what's cool and what's not. Literally, all the majority of the challenges is in social media. Like it's like a cultural cachet that we have, which kind of determines whether that be music, fashion, everything like that. So in essence, I also do strongly believe that in what he's saying is that actually people are profiting a lot more off our cultural cachet than we are. So even a way you can almost to a degree, I could flip it and say the fact they put a black face on there is almost taking advantage, almost exploiting.
It's a little bit like what this person was saying about the Black influence on white wealth.
Yeah, 100%. Look at that. So like so it's even because there's even I was having a discussion with someone the other day actually, an interesting person who told me that that all these designers, right? They used I can't remember the name of the designer now. Was it Magdala or someone Kanye West mentioned the designer. I can't remember because the name M. Some fashion people that might know it more than me. Is that Medea or something like that? Anyway, not Medea. That's Tyler Perry. But literally he mentioned it in a rap. And their stocks or share and their sales went up. And I even like Gucci or whatever Louis Vuitton or obvious things or mention the alcohol brand in a song. It automatically affects the bottom line in terms of sales, etc. So again, it shows the currency that we have, and I just honestly don't believe that we benefit enough from that. Hence, I guess I think Clubhouse being an example of that. I listen. I don't know the usage of Clubhouse on a whole, but it seems to me that a lot of the conversations, a lot of the trending stuff is divulging from black rooms. Is that fair to say as a user?
See, I would say no, but that's because of the people I follow and the whole way I've curated. And I think part of my next question to you, but you're not a kind of avid user, so it's going to be quite difficult for you to answer. But my next question was going to be around the fact that, do you think that if we're seeking that knowledge and we want to be involved in these rooms and we are starting to follow people that mean that our hallway looks a certain way, that actually that's what it's going to look like to us? Whereas I'm seeing, and I need to start unfollowing some people because I'm seeing rooms every day about wealth, and I'm talking about with white people heading them, black people heading them, all sorts of things in my hallway, as well as all of the cultural stuff and the things that I identify with on a huge level. So I wonder if it's about the rooms, the people who are talking. Again, I'm saying I wonder, I'm not saying it is or that I think it is, but I wonder if it's about the hallway that you've curated and how that impacts your overall view of what the app is and what it does.
To be fair, and like anything, I think like anything is education. Like there are elements that pertain to different cultures and different experiences and different topics and categories. So I guess you can sift and go through, and obviously be well-rounded character. You should probably have a finger as many pies as possible. Really, I guess. I mean,
a little bit like your YouTube channel. I guess what you're suggesting. Yeah.
Hell, from rap music to anime to random, do you know what I mean? Jazz music, who knows? Do you know what I mean? Or even learning about stocks and shares. So I think it should be diverse. I think there is a plethora. And also, to be honest with you, the people that talk about wealth and stuff like that, it's probably not going to get as much traction because entertainment levels, gossip or banter or like bit of shade there. That's not gonna. It's in a different stratosphere to like wealth and well-being, and that probably wouldn't. Lower hanging fruit always makes more noise, I think. Do you know what I mean? Like, so of course it will. So that'll probably be more. Whereas other stuff, holisticness and wellness. I probably, to be fair, funny experience. I went on Clubhouse once, and there was a really good page by set up business and wellness and health and doing as I looked at it, this is boring. but then and that was there, and I literally walked in that room, was like, yeah, this is beneficial, but boring. And then went somewhere else, like, why I'm in a trash. Like, I was like, oh my goodness, this is terrible. But I was there for like 5 minutes, like just to cuss it. We're like, see, this is why the girl was cussing man them. So to be fair, but I can't even cuss it because there is a room and a space for that. And you know what? That can be entertaining. So and that's what the beauty of the app itself. It can be anything it wants to be. And I think especially, I think at a time like this, I think especially where people are even more disconnected and want to feel connection or feel warmth, I think it's thriving. It might not have done as well like a couple of years ago as it is doing now. People have a lot more time on their hands. People are all at home. People aren't going out like as much. So there's more time to do stuff like Clubhouse, and it's got good momentum, so good for them. But yeah, go on.
No, I was just going to say the other thing that has been coming out. So that's a big news piece that has come out about Clubhouse. And one of the complaints that a lot of people have, and I've seen a lot of rooms set up for this, and it's the last question I'm going to ask you on the thing, is that there are a lot of people who go onto Clubhouse and lie. So they make out like they are this, big, amazing person within the industry, and they're hosting rooms to deliver these talks and be on the stage and all of this kind of thing. Yeah. And I don't know if, because I see that from all the races, I see all rooms created about different people. It's just about the person doing it. So I don't know if maybe there's an element of blackness in that, not in the, but in the in the lack of trust for the people that are starting these rooms and saying, I can offer value, I can add value to your life. Come in here and support me. As opposed to, say I'm doing a CYG event and it's got like 15 people in it, as opposed to the 5,000 that are in the trash talk room. Do you know what I mean? Is there an element of that to it? I don't know.
So in terms of like basically make sure the creating the quality, but it's like anything with the internet. So to me, it's not, if I come on there and say, listen, I am a millionaire and I'm going to tell you the secrets to how to get rich. To be honest with you, it's up to you to research me and kind of like, and give me your time is it's like, to me, I can say what I want. I could be like, yep, I talk a lot of wild stuff, so I could probably set up any kind of room. But like, it's up to you to research me. For me personally, and I'm not disputing anyone, there's everyone each their own, but I'm not going to listen to a random man who I've never heard recent music and tell me how to become a rap artist. Whereas if Royce the 5'9" or hell, Joe Budden or whatever, or a music producer, Dallas Austin is on there or something, or Pharrell's on there giving a masterclass, I'm gonna go there because I know for a fact he does what he knows what he does what he say he does, and I've seen evidence and proof of that. But that to me will be across the board for anything. If anyone sent you an email saying, bruv, like, penis enlargement pills or medical Viagra or whatever, you would verify and check what you take. I mean, just because I received that, I don't see any shade in the comments from Riche about why I might receive those emails. But at the same time, I would check that. So I think it's up to the person to verify that. And also if you go in there, like, you might be able to know within 2 minutes if someone's got talking sense or not. It's just to me, it's a communication platform. So you're gonna get people that chat absolute shit, or people that are gonna drop dimes. But you know what? That's life, isn't it? Like that's
because I was gonna say that having the millions in the bank and having the million followers doesn't actually mean that you can't add value. No, it's just about.
But that's the thing, and that's the beauty of it. Like, if you take it away, I don't think like it's not a professional platform like where people are being verified and whatnot. So to a certain degree, they might because by fame, but you can get a wonderful conversation with somebody who's met in the post office, and they might not have anything you've seen or anything tangible to say prove, but that conversation could change your life. That to me, it's up to you to use your own intelligence and your own discernment to work out what you take from a conversation, what you leave from a conversation. For you, for example, you're a person, people, I think you're absolutely worthless, but people will talk to you and pick up nuggets of knowledge. But all joking aside, the people listen to this podcast and be like, Shay talks a lot of sense, blah, blah, blah. They don't know you, man. They don't know what you do. They might not be able to verify to a certain degree what you do, to the fact that I know what you do, but do you know what I mean? Even though it's out there in the streets, everywhere, publicly, you are the real deal, not a snake oil salesman. You are the real deal. But having said that, you will hear something and comments to tell you, actually, there's wisdom in that. So I think it's up to you. People shouldn't blindly follow regardless. You should always have an conversation and use your own, common sense to take from it what you would and leave from what you don't need. Standard. That's just my opinion on that. So that's that's not on the, people are always going to be people in there. People always will try and sell you stuff, but it's up to you to, try and have that. Which actually gives me another example, speaking of black culture, because you know what? I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and I want to help you think about this. And this is kind of touching a little bit on Clubhouse and culture, but someone said something to me the other day. I was like, nah, you're chatting rubbish. But actually, I thought, oh my gosh, there's actually a point. So let me reel it back. So I've been mentioned before, I've been talking about small acts films, stuff like that, etc., recently. Just finished watching the last one the other day, which is kind of cool. And I haven't seen the shade, but when you get around to it, give them a check, but you don't necessarily see them to. The overall point is about Black British culture in the 70s, 80s, growing up, just basically specifically our experiences. But then someone said to me the other day, yo, that there isn't such a thing as Black British culture. You don't actually have a Black British culture. It's like, what do you mean? You chat nonsense. I said, nah, most of your culture, Black culture, is from American culture. There isn't actually, or Caribbean culture, but actually have that there being Black British culture. Now I looked at it and thought, nah, that's not true, right? But can I break it down? I was watching the Small Axe again last night. And actually, most Black British culture is a derivative of Caribbean cultures, African cultures, or American cultures. There isn't, in my opinion, when I've looked at it, I think actually there's a little bit of truth in it. There isn't actually a stock on its own Black British culture. What do you think about that? Because I think I might push back on that. Because I pushed back on it when I thought, but before I tell you, go on, speak to me. Oh, wise shade from Clubhouse.
No, by definition of everything you've just described, that's exactly Black British culture. It doesn't matter where it's derived from, or the fact that historically in the fact that back in the day, way back when, it was a tale of two cities. It doesn't matter where it came from. It's the fact that now this is what makes up Black culture. There's nothing else. There are no things that join up in the same way to create the same thing. Black British culture absolutely comes from all of those things, plus some other cultures that aren't necessarily Black, but they make up Black culture. It also comes from a whole raft of experiences of coming from the Caribbean to the UK and experiencing racism, and then dealing with it in a certain way. So Black British culture, we do have that today. It just comes from the heritage of Black British culture actually comes from somewhere else.
I don't disagree with it too tough. Maybe I think it's a subculture. Because I haven't come to a definitive answer yet. I'm not saying this is wrong and this is right. It has challenged me. So because I quoted this person, I said to her, "Go on, you're gonna say something. Go on."
Yeah. How did you know? I was like, no, only because think about it this way. The generations, we are derived of Black British culture, even though our heritage is Caribbean. Our parents may have been born over there and do whatever. We are now Black British culture because we were born here. We're British, and we are creating our own things, like being in, wherever we are. So fundamentally, it's like I didn't really understand being African American until the last maybe 3 or 4 years. I mean, I understood it, but I didn't really understood how it was different to just being Black, to just being like me. It is a completely different world. Being not coming from the West Indies. I'm talking about literally having generations being Black and American. Right. So we are just starting that, but we're starting it from our last couple of generations, and also we know where we came from, but I believe that we do have Black British culture now. It's what we're creating.
See, I don't disagree, right? I don't disagree, and I don't agree. I'm still kind of trying to work it out. So I'm not one way or the other. So let me tell you why I broke it down, right? So this is why I want to come to you. This was like my mind was like blown like a little bit. So I said, nah, but music. If I look at music, yeah, let's be real. A lot of the music we listened to growing up, talk about say 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever, American music, yeah, there wasn't really a massive R&B culture in England. And then let's be honest, R&B culture comes from the States, yeah. Our music is influenced States. Our TV and movies, all state influenced, right? Pretty much. And then if not just music, if we're talking about music from a Caribbean perspective, is soca, reggae, Jamaica, Caribbean, Jamaica, shout out to Jamaica, all other islands irrelevant. No, I'm joking. Shots fired, pow. Nah, but Caribbean, right? So that's that. Accents, Caribbean, all the stuff comes over. So it's so maybe my argument is a subculture. And do you know what? No. But then I said, nah. Do you know what though? I said with confidence, I said this, yeah. You know what? We got garage though. And the person went to me, nah, garage isn't from.
Garage is a derivative of house.
Yeah, no, garage is from Chicago. Garage is from Chicago. And I had to learn this. Because we have garage and we got drill. The drill is our thing. Like, nah, drill music and garage and house are from Chicago. And I said, no. So why do you think they call it UK garage? Like,
I need to look up to that because I don't know. I had this conversation.
Look it up.
No, I will. I'm happy to be convinced of it. I'm just saying. I'm happy to be convinced of it. I just had a recent conversation with somebody about garage music and drill. So I'm really interested to know.
Listen, my man was because drill. Because I was like, because remember, I was like, nah, but drill. And listen, my ignorance. Some people out there might already know this, yeah. But I was like, nah, man, because we run the thing, man. Like, I was thinking Heady One, and like, even like man, like Pop Smoke was paying homage, but nah, drill. And actually, when I break it down, drill is more is a style of music starting in Chicago from Chief Keef.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I mean, that's what it says. It's what it says on Wikipedia. So yeah.
No. Listen, but I've done it.
No. I'm giving a disclaimer. I believe it.
Yeah. But no, so I literally was surprised. So like, I'm just saying that when I look back at it, I was like, raw, real talk, like we black, because but your point is very valid. Because we go Jamaica, they call us English, yeah, but we'll come over here. And it would just be like, oh yeah, from Caribbean.
We are basically an amalgamation of a bunch of different things.
So I'm just wondering if we are maybe a subculture then, a Black British subculture, because it's not a dominant. Because there isn't a quite everything that, to be honest with you, everything that I would say that is black about us either derives from America, Africa, or the Caribbean. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Whereas everything that is British about everything that is probably British about us is, I mean, not a lot of it,
because it's not. It's not. It doesn't. Everything that is British about us doesn't sit anywhere in the UK either. Like, and that's why I'm calling it our culture.
That's what I'm saying. We don't even have that, because everything. Listen, everything we have about us, the ability to go, "You all right, mate? Yeah, go and pop about. You all right, geezer? Yeah, come on, come on, lads. Hey." I mean, what I mean, but other than that, we haven't really. But that is even ours. That's not ours. That's.
I was going to say, and we know it's not ours though. We're actually mimicking.
We're mimicking. So actually, anything that really belongs to us, really inherent, that we say our raves, our dances, our food, the way we dress, the way we vibe, is predominantly American, African, or Caribbean. So actually, I'm saying, do we actually have?
But this is what I'm trying to say. It's not what you said. It's predominantly ABC.
It's not a lie, Shane. What a lie.
I mean, first of all, you can probably tell this whole podcast I'm struggling to hear you, so I'm looking at you like this because for some reason staring at someone. Yeah, I heard that, but no, I think the point I'm trying to make is that you said "or." You use the word "or." It's not. Black British culture is an "and." It's an amalgamation of all of them, and that is what.
No, I'm with you. So I'm just tickling here. I'm just tickling. But listen, I'm saying I'm with you.
Because actually, some of what we do in the UK and the way we dance and Afro beats and all of this stuff is we bring in a bit of Jamaica into it, and then we bring a little bit of Africa into it, and then it's a whole amalgamation. And I'm not sure. I know America has it as well, but I don't think it would be called. You wouldn't be able to look at that. If someone didn't speak and you just saw them in a video acting and dancing, you wouldn't be able to say that person's Black British, right? You wouldn't be able to tell that. But if you were watching a video, you might be able to guess that somebody is West Indian, interestingly enough, or African. There's something about the way they move and the way they are, which is why when we go to the West Indies without even speaking, they can identify us because they move at a much slower, more relaxed pace. We're in a rush to get everywhere, but that is about, I think, a lot. The reason we even lost anything that could have been identified as Black culture is because we have been doing the kind of virtue signaling since we got here. We've not virtue signaling, we've been code changing since we got here. We have been switching it up to make sure that we fit in, and in doing that we lose a lot of what could have become our identity in the British. But the things that we really connect to and identify with are going to be things that take us way back to our ancestry and way back home, or make us feel the way we do when we went to Jamaica last year, or
which is, I'm not, listen, I'm not saying and that sounds weird. I know me. I'm like, I believe this or that or whatever. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm in the middle of it, but I'm literally, I agree with you. But essentially, I believe we're basically all-purpose seasoning, fam. We're not.
Yeah.
We are. So
yeah.
I think you said it perfect. We're an amalgamation of different cultures. Now, what we revert to is back to our ancestral homes, whether that be whatever your yard is. So your mum, bless, is Jamaican. You're Jamaican, right? Now, I don't want to misquote you.
Yeah. Jamaica, Grenada.
Yeah. Exactly. So, what? I don't know why did you cook so good, Green? The land of spices, isn't it? Right, but here.
The side of my family that cook really well, or Jamaica.
Come on now. No. I mean, fair enough. I too have tasted the glories. But I'm saying to you, we go back. What we revert back to is our ancestral home. But actually, because technically, this is our home. Like, no one can tell me when we come. Oh, where you from? I was born, bred, and raised, done know, in Northwest London. I was trapping the streets, living a hard life in the ghettos in the slums, done know, from the mud to the tower, done in it. You know what I mean? But from remember some CNA anyway. Remember CNA? Anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. Woolworths. Shout out to Woolworths, W.H. Smith. Anyway, basically, I digress. But those elements of sprinklings are probably more elements of our code, where ancestrally we are from African, Jamaican roots or whatever Caribbean roots. But really and truly, we just survive here, blood. But actually, we haven't really got a lane. Whereas if we were African American, it'll be more dominant, because I believe African Americans, you could say, do you know what? R&B is African American, hip hop and rap is African American. I don't think we have anything necessarily that originates. We put our own flavor on it. Don't get me wrong. We put our own, which is
I think we have. No, I think we have fashion. I think fashion can be seen in a different light.
Our fashion is slightly different, but then would you not also argue littly that our fashion arguably is more of a European flavor than necessarily a black British flavor? Because
no, you're right.
Yeah, so I'm saying I'm here. I don't know the answers, but I'm saying actually, Black British is a subculture. It's not. I don't think it's not either way. Even if I think it's not a dominant culture. It's, as you said, it's an amalgamation. I just thought that was interesting because I shut it down.
I don't want to talk about this. This is bothering me.
Yeah, but no, what did they do, fam? I was like, what the hell? I generally was like, I got to shout out to Apple. Apple, I'm gonna shout out you, but listen, I tried to go back and forth with her, but she was like, no, I'm gonna invite her on the podcast one day. I'm gonna invite her on the podcast one day because she's a great conversationalist. But
don't invite me. Don't invite me to that episode.
Why?
I just want to sit and learn. I just want to watch it.
No, definitely. But we'll see. But no, but I will about to say,
I'm sharing my screen. As I said to you, I was deep diving. As you can see, I wasn't paying you much attention. I was deep diving whilst we were talking, and there are websites and there are the things that talk about Black British culture, and all of them seem to. I feel like I know this little girl. All of them seem to relate back to. It's a goldmine of information about Black cultural identity in Britain. So it's not Black British, it's the Black cultural identity in Britain, which is completely different. And it kind of feeds back into the actually, we don't have a Black British culture. But I don't want to, do you remember Aswad? Do you remember Aswad? But I don't know. Guys, go and look at this website. I just found it just now. It looks really good. blackculturalarchives.org. I literally just found it, so Ritalin does not support anything you find on there that you don't know.
Yeah. But, if it's good, we support it. But if it's bad, it's all Shay's fault. But do you know what, Shane? I think, and do you know what? I'm bringing it back to that because that's a conversation that go on and on. I think we'll have that offline. But do you know what, guys? Check it out. I know what you think. Hit me up if you got my details. You know my details. Where to find me, Instagram, whatever. But I haven't conclusively come to a determination on this. But literally, it does seem that we're a subculture at best. Black British, but we still fly though. But go on.
Doesn't this bring it back around to what we were talking about with Clubhouse?
That's
why we need to. Go on.
We need to support. I know you finish sentence because I feel like I'm on a hit. We'll play the same notes as you're playing. I want to go.
No, because I jumped in on your sentence.
No, finish. I'll add there, you go. We need to.
No, all I was going to say is this is why we need to develop things and support one another to develop so that we can end up with our own Black culture and so that some things can be identified. Some things can be identified specifically as this is what Black Britain has to offer. This is what Black Britain means. Because I had to type it in. I had to say define Black British. I'm glad because I can see it in your face. I don't know if you're faking it, I know you're probably well versed in faking it as a woman, but still, I know you seem generally interested in what I'm saying. So, 100%. No, I'm interested. I think the thing that I was thinking about literally was off the top of my head. I was like, no, I identify this as Black British culture. But the more you speak, the more I'm like.
I was like, yo, listen, I threw at her. She's batted it back. She's a well-read woman in it. So now, I will go back to that. But going back, reeling it right back, I co-sign that. And listen, this is not about me. Listen, I'm not gonna make excuses. Everyone knows who I'm about. I'm not gonna say, oh, white people this, white people. It's not even about that. I'm not on that energy.
No,
I'm just saying,
it's not about that.
Yeah, I'm just literally saying, to be straight, I'm about people getting our flowers, and there's no denial about our cultural cachet. In terms of the power and influence we have as a society, I just don't think it matches up with how much we monetize stuff, and it gets on my nerves. And that's it. So enough of people tapping in and adding Aunt Jemima's jerk sauce to Sunday roasts, yeah, and making millions of that while the people who originally think don't get money. I honestly believe that having said that, what I want to finalize and close on is that we do, in general, need to get better at supporting one another. We do. Across the board, in any shape or form, and in the smallest to the largest things. Yeah, the Bible says, "He that does much and little will do much and much." I don't think I've been correct that correctly, but something. Mommy will be so happy, so proud of me, mommy. So basically, yeah, let's just support one another, keep it moving. And on that note, if you do see a CYG Clubhouse room, jump in on there, because I know she's on the cooker, so I know I bust joke about it all the time, but real talk, this woman has a lot of important things to say, and she'll never say it about herself. She's very humble, but she will always is about developing and upskilling others, and she's very passionate about that. So you will benefit for time, or after short time spent with her. Just don't spend too long, because you end up talking to her and look where I am now. I only meant to talk to her for 5 minutes, but you will benefit from that. So on that note, make sure you check out CYG on Clubhouse. There's rooms and stuff coming up soon. In fact, before I go, when do you roughly plan to do another room soon in Clubhouse?
You've literally just taken all the air out of my sails. I appreciate the CYG plugs. Yeah. You've taken all the Black British wind out of my sails. I
just give up.
Done.
Go on. Sorry, serious talk now.
Because sorry, I know you're trying to wrap up, but all the things I was thinking of. What about Notting Hill? No, Caribbean.
Yes, I'm saying we have nothing Caribbean. I'm saying, Shay, real talk. It blew my effing mind, bruv. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not going to lie. Oh my gosh! Like, I have to get.
I'm gonna think of something. Please put a story. Please put a story on your thing and ask people just to give answers. What is black? Ask them to give you what.
Yes, because I'm saying to you, because literally, I'm telling you, when I wheeled it back, I thought, Fresh Prince, no, black. That's American. And Bill Cosby Show, American. So maybe I do the best I can come up with. Desmond's. That's it. But then Desmond's, where they all from?
Yeah, no, because that's what I was going to say. We have a Black British culture. This is my point. We absolutely have Black British culture, but it's not subculture. It's not dominant. It's not steeped in British. You
can't. We are in a white land, and again, I'm not sure which makes sense. It makes absolute sense, because if we were talking about, say, Muslims or they're going to have the same conversation. Children. Wait, sorry, I was just singing Negro Spirituals. I said we're in a white land. I thought I should sing.
Folly. If we were talking to an Indian person or a Muslim or something, they would have the similar conversation, I think. But fundamentally, and I'm being very careful about how I say what I say next. It's so important for us to have this identity in this country because of the prejudice, discrimination, and bias that we faced. And so it is sad. Our children need to understand our identity in the country they're being brought up in, because not all of them will have that kind of link back to the West Indies in the same way that perhaps even our generations don't have the same link back as the generations above us. So
and it alludes, and you know what? Again, I'm saying that through things that you use, so I think but we got our language, we got idioms or our slang. Not really.
Because we do have our own language. No, not Wagwan. We have our own. So hear
me. Wagwan.
Okay.
Yeah. What a blood.
Yeah.
So we saying blood. That's American. Bloods and Crips. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but have you heard Blusky? Blusky is a London. We have our own language. We do.
Wait. What does Blusky mean, Shay?
No, never mind. It
Oh,
don't
no,
matter
you
what
want to
you
say
mean.
what Blusky means?
No, I'm just letting you know.
No, so for
I'm
the
letting
people
you
who don't
know.
know what Blusky means, yeah, the first thing she came out with is Blusky is another word for horny, yeah? Are you feeling
No,
some type of way?
it isn't. No, it
It is.
isn't.
Blusky means horny. It does mean horny. Blood, I promise you, Blusky means horny.
No,
What
I
does it mean
know, but in London slang, it means something else as well. I'm
What
telling
does it
you.
mean? Fruit
No,
it. Blusky
no,
means horny. It's
I
something
don't.
sexual.
Yes. Oh my God.
It's not sexual.
Can a word mean two things? Can there
Oh,
also mean something else? That's what I'm trying to say, bruh. All I'm saying is,
say what the word means, please. Just say.
no, out
Why?
principle. No.
What do you mean out principle? What, is this the same principle you set up at OnlyFans page? Yeah. All right, cool.
Anyway, what I was saying is we have our own language. We bring up our own, we make up our own stuff and our own words and stuff. We absolutely do. We talk in a way that other people emulate and kind of, you know, they take it and do whatever. A lot of that does come from, again, like you say, West Indies, America, or whatever. But I don't want to get so bogged down in everything comes from everywhere else because we can't think of anything specific right now, that we lose the fact that we have stuff. You and I can't think of it.
Okay, so like we said earlier, again, brings back to our chat earlier, just like in Clubhouse, when people might say something in a room, don't take it as gospel, do your own research and check it out. I mean, if anyone listening to me blindly, then please donate £10,000 to Dwayne Phillips. Yeah, but if you have common sense and not a sheep, yeah, obviously take what I'm saying, do your own research and hit me up, have the discussion. I'm just saying at the moment, I believe we are all-purpose seasoning, a subculture, a mishmash of many things, which is okay, but I just wish we had a dominant British culture. But you know what? Can a black man really thrive in a white land? And on that note, it's been fun. It's time to take medication. It's been real, people. We'll speak again soon. Bye-bye.